Hey guys, it's me Shane, and I'm here to give you, I guess, a bit of a retrospective. Well, just had a birthday this weekend, and throughout all the snow and in between shoveling, I was graced with a pizza, and it inspired me to watch my favorite film growing up, and just my, in my opinion, the best comic book slash cartoon movie of all time. If you read the title, you already know I'm talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990 version. That's right. What is this movie about if you haven't seen it? And if you're too young, by the way, if you're too young, this video is not for you. I'm just telling you. It's for adults. But anyway, back to the kid stuff. If you don't remember the movie, the plot is basically this. April O'Neil is on the hunch and on the chase to uncover the secrets of this massive crime wave going around New York City. She's attacked by the Foot Clan. She's saved by the Turtles. The Turtles end up having to room with her after their secret lair in the sewers is found out. Splinter is captured. They go back to get Splinter. They defeat the Shredder, and that's how we end off the movie. Now, seems really simple, and there's really nothing wrong with that, is it? There's nothing wrong with a very simple plot, and honestly, I feel more movies should should take note of this. There's nothing wrong with your plot being simple. There's nothing wrong with from A to B. Uh, the characters, as you already know, it's the Ninja Turtles. It's Leo, Donnie, Mikey, Raph, Splinter, Casey, uh, Shredder. It's Tatsu, a original character for this series, and it's also April's boss. Think, give me a second. I got my notes here, and I got some names because I always forget this guy's name. Charles Pennington. I always just call him. I want to call him Penny, but I do remember his son name, Danny, because I remember when he's calling for his son, he's like, "Danny, get back here! Damn it, Danny!" Not hard to forget. Plus, Danny is the one that sold out the turtles. So, had a really great conclusion. This it is laughable to think of certain movies being one and done, but this is a film that could have just stopped right here. And some people say they should have. This is actually the highest grossing. It was the highest grossing film of the series until the 2014 reboot. And actually, this was the highest grossing independent film until Blair Witch Project in 1999. The movie was made for $13.5 million. Do you know how much money they made? They made $202 million. All of you finance people, you can do the inflation and times it from now. That's not my deal. I don't really care about that kind of thing. But I'm just giving you its specs. Why do I love this movie aside from being a turtle fan? The series, the comic series, actually started the year before I was born in 1987. And this movie is inspired by the early comics. Oh my goodness, by the early comics. And a little bit by the anime series. The anime series actually started in 19. I'm sorry. The anime series started in 87. The comics started in 19. I want to say 86, 85, but the show started in 87. So before the movie came out, we already had 4 seasons of the anime series. And to show you how amazing the movies are, well, the movie is, starting from season 8 to 10, they put in live action scenes from the movie into the intro, and they actually took a darker tone because while the turtles are naturally, they have goofiness and silliness, and they tell jokes and they tell meta jokes for the time, between very serious parts. It's the serious parts that get you. The turtles actually use their weapons in this movie, which is why I say it's the best out of the trilogy. A lot of people do love Secret of the Ooze, the part two, but this is easily the best one because they're actually using their weapons in here. Even when weapons tend to get thrown about, you can imagine them going to pick them up as they're fighting. And actually, one of the best things about this movie is its pacing. We're introduced with the problem. We see the problem happening to New Yorkers, an old black woman, a white man, etc., etc. It's not just it's all inclusive of what's going on in New York City. We see our main heroine in April, who, by the way, even though she can't fight a gang of ninja thieves, she's very competent and holds her own, and she's what we will call Honestly, I wish more female protagonists would be like her, even the ones who don't have powers. Uh, I get vibes of the MCU's Mary Jane when I think of uh, April O'Neil in this movie. Competent, knows what she's doing, not stupid, doesn't let go. And matter of fact, her pushing against Casey Jones with his very over the top chauvinistic attitude, calling her babe and toots and all this other stuff. You love it when you see the romance happen, but her standing up for herself is amazing. It's great. The scenes may be played up for comedy, but it tells you the type of character she is. She's also, that's another thing I love about this movie, is that it does have subtle moments of releasing to you the type of characters they are. For example, of course, Raphael's in the forefront. You can see his anger, you can see his frustration. You see the type of character Leonardo is. While he is technically the leader, he has reservations about, he wants to go out and find their father, but he knows, you have to take your time. There's ways of doing things, and they're probably being searched out by the people that took their father. We can already tell how smart Donatello is because he quotes literature. He quotes literature. He speaks with I don't want to say elongated speech pattern, but he uses larger words than Michelangelo would use. It's actually as if Donatello read a thesaurus. Michelangelo's obviously the goofball. He's the nut. But when it comes to the fighting scenes, especially the iconic nunchuck scene, which has been memed into Cowabunga it is, that scene between him and that foot soldier, where he's showing that he's more skilled than him, shows that these guys know how to fight. And speaking of fights, I wish more movies would take their cues from this. And it was actually a complaint that a lot of people had about the new Star Wars trilogy and past The Force Awakens. They were saying a lot of fights were just, action pieces. The cool thing about the fights in Ninja Turtles, which I wrote them down, and if I count this correctly, one, two, three, all right, I count 7 fights, but technically the first I don't count the fight that the turtles had when they saved April. You don't even have to count the fight that Raph and Casey had. That's a character building moment, showing that while Raphael has rage, he doesn't want someone just randomly beating up and potentially killing these punk kids. Also shows the type of character that Casey is. While he is a vigilante, he's gonna stop these people from robbing this woman, or get justice from them robbing this woman. You had the fight where Raphael saved April in the subway. It had Raphael getting jumped on the roof, which, with all these Raphael fights, it's easy to see why stupid Megan Fox thought that Raphael was the leader, especially if only research she ever did was watching the old Turtle movies and not the cartoons. She is dumb. Watch the interview where she says she's always loved the Turtles and says that Raph is the leader. Which, mind you, he is the leader in Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was actually just canceled, I want to say last year or early or late 2019. But the last episode of the season, they made Leo the leader. So there you go. Anyway, you have the Raphael roof scene. You have the rest of the Turtles fighting the Foot Clan throughout April's apartment complex. Then we have the Turtles training one another. We have the Turtles coming back and fighting. Then we have the fight scene against the Shredder. The fights are paced so well. And even if I don't count the Raph versus Casey fight, or the Turtles training against one another, or the fight in the subway, which, only took maybe 45 seconds to a minute, you get so much story from those fights. When you see the Turtles training, you see that you can tell they're holding back against one another, but they're going very hard. They're fighting to better themselves so they can go home and take their home back. You have Leonardo meditating, again, another point to his personality. Even when Donatello is the wisecracker, but he's also a smart guy. He even says, they brought marshmallows. Well, him and Michelangelo brought marshmallows for their, I don't call it a seance, but for their meditational experience. You have Leo saying, just concentrate. The pacing of this movie, like I said, is amazing. Fights actually matter. The fight scenes are not just action packed, but they're fun, they're funny. The music, Partners in Crime made Turtle Power. Amazing song, which was also used in a reboot of Turtles in Time, a video game that was on the Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox Store. Of course, he says Raph is the leader. It's not true. Still a good song, though. The effects. Now, the effects were practical and done by Jim Henson's Creature Workshop. And if you know anything about, the Muppets and Jim Henson, even going all the way up into the early 90s, the Muppets were the thing. And Jim Henson's Creature Shop, even to this day, do amazing effects. I remember buying the trilogy my first year in college and rewatching it on a more up-to-date television. Yeah, you can tell that they're in suits, but it still holds up. You can't even tell, like, the effects for Master Splinter are fantastic, and I adore it. I just adore them. Fun fact, the voice of Master Splinter is Kevin Clash, the original voice of Elmo. Uh, Another fun fact, the suit actor for Donatello is Ernie Reyes Jr., from Surf Ninjas in the Rundown where he was beating up The Rock. He's been on a lot of stuff. This is probably where you recognize him from. Actually, we recognize him from Secret of the Ooze, where he actually has an on-screen role without having to wear a suit. I also believe, if I'm correct, actually I am correct, Corey Feldman does the voice of Donatello. Mwah, perfect voice cast. He doesn't do the voice in the second movie, but he comes back to do the voice in the third movie. Corey Feldman was a great choice to play Donatello. So, all in all, I'm just giving you a rundown of this movie, and you probably are saying to yourself, so all these things you think this is why this is the best comic book movie. In short, yes. This rooftop fight scene, which was later redrawn in a 2012 Ninja Turtles cartoon, was actually a fight with Leo. Leo had fought with the Foot Clan. The Turtles had to go and live with April, and it was during Christmas. While Master Splinter wasn't captured, I love the fact that things were mirrored from that comic book, and it was done in a way that made sense. We have a connection with Raphael. What reason we got to have a reason for Raphael to go to the rooftop during the day going into the evening? Because the fight lasts from if I'm to assume that this is during the summer, sun goes down around 7. This fight went from 6:30 until like 9 o'clock at night. Amazing. And the reason why he had to fight and it wasn't Leo, it makes sense. You have an emotional connection to this character that you've seen from the beginning. You know he has rage issues, which is something many people can identify with. Why is he on the roof? That's why he's on the roof. Well, how does Casey Jones come there? Oh, Casey Jones on the roof listening to a radio. I'm going to assume that that's actually probably a miniature police scanner because he's a vigilante. He sees 2 or 3 blocks away. That's the green guy I fought. Oh, he's getting jumped right now. The only movies I can zero in and say that they took a lot of good source material. The first Iron Man movie. All they had to do was change it from Vietnam to the Middle East, which is a really big thing. It was a really big thing during 2008. Gotta remember the time periods we were in when these movies came out and when these movies were in production. Things like that. Things like Captain America: The First Avenger. These are movies. I always grade movies high that will use the source material and you change it to fit your story, and it still works so well. So, guys, you just spent 14 minutes listening to me gush about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Hope you like my shirt. I got it from Shark Robot. Tell them I sent you. Maybe they'll give me a sponsorship. I love Shark Robot shirts. Ninja Squirtles. Who doesn't love Squirtles? But yeah, leave me a comment down below. Have you seen this movie? Do you love Ninja Turtles? Which are the turtles that you grew up with? I have watched all the cartoons. While I love the '87 cartoon, that's the first thing that came out. I have to say the 2003 Turtles probably has like the best overall story. The 2012 Turtles has the most callbacks because they go through comics, they go through all the cartoons. We even have cameos with the '87 Turtles. And Rise of the TMT, if you like anime, it's for you. I don't like how it's a lot of silly. I don't mind the silliness, but some of it just doesn't gel with me. Don't like it when Donatello's purposely an a-hole to his brothers. But I digress. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think of the Ninja Turtles. Tell me what you think of this movie. Please remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell, get notified of more videos like this. I'm going to do some more fun things on Thursdays and give you some really good stuff. February Black History Month holds a special place in my heart. I remember I started doing videos this time last year during this time, so I'm going to do my best to give you guys some really good stuff. So if you want other people to see this good stuff, share the video. And thank you as always. Please remember, be good, be blessed, wash your hands, wear a mask, Black Lives Matter, be good to yourself and others, and I will definitely see you next time. Cowabunga it is.